We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxingego Unpacked. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live.
And the bad news is, it is petition mania on Claressa Shields. This just came across the desk. Shout out to Nicole who sent this to me. Again, at this point, I just get DMs and emails of what you guys want me to talk about. So we know there was a petition that was made, not by me. It's at 4,163 signatures. To sum it up, and you really need to check my previous video on it, but this is what it says. The petition, they are trying to revoke Claressa Shields' boxing license based on her conduct, her attitude, and lack of morality, putting hands on Baumgardner, going at fans, all these types of things, right? So they want her to get looked at, and they don't think she should be allowed to box at this point, right? Then I made a video about this. Magically, after the first petition came out, we had a counter petition. So I'm like, what's going on here, right? Someone sent me this, and it was like, Claressa's a powerhouse, and no one's giving her credit, and is unjust and disrespectful criticism, and she is facing prejudice and all type. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, how can you advocate for respect for all women's boxing, and you're the one hitting women boxers in public? You're the one laughing and seemingly jovial when Shadasia Green lost. You made it about you. You said, oh, these girls can't mess with me. MVP girls, y'all suck. Y'all suck. I'm on level 100. You're on level 10. Y'all suck. Stop mentioning my name. Literally what she said, right? But then now we have this random petition, and it's like, we got to rectify this. And the reason why I believe, in my honest opinion, that this is Claressa Shields or her team under a burner, and they just started it, is we don't even know who this person is. Marie Simmons, who is that, right? There's no, they didn't pay attention to detail. It was like, we're in a rush to get this up because this other petition is up, and we want to counteract that. You know, we want to counter program, right? Like, think of two TV studios, right? You got ABC and NBC, and then NBC finds out ABC got a game show coming on, and then the other network is like, man, that's a good idea. And then they try to rush into production to try to beat ABC, and NBC's trying to compete with that. That's what it feels like, right? So the other thing why I feel it's a burner petition is it doesn't even really make sense. The first petition, people are opening the conversation, and there's a discourse happening, and they included the Michigan Commission. So there's actually a party that would seemingly be able to do what they want, which is to temporarily suspend the license, get her help, get her evaluated, and that kind of thing. This petition, it's talking about give her respect. Give her the respect that she deserves because she's the GOAT. And despite all of her accolades and achievements, she's subjected to this harsh criticism. So you notice on this petition, there's really, look, they tagged a bunch of Showtime Sports. They're not in boxing anymore. HBO Sports, they're not even in boxing. So this is why it feels like a counter fake petition, because who can force the fans to give you the credit? Like, so it sounds like, in my opinion, like a narcissist wrote it, which I believe Claressa Shields is, right? You're trying to counter program with an anti-petition, like give her respect. And then you're tagging networks that don't even exist in the world of boxing anymore. How can these people give you respect? How can the fans give you respect? You can't force people. And then ESPN, they just did a deal with MVP, and that's Jake Paul and Nikisa, right? And guess what? They have the most of the women's boxers under their banner, right? You had an opportunity to sign with them, and you said, nah, I'm with Win Records and Papoose and Salida Promotions. So I never really understood this counter petition, which is probably why it only has 20 signatures as of me recording the video. Give Claressa Shields the respect she deserves? I didn't even understand that. Now, fast forward to this video since I got you guys caught up. There's 2 new petitions. Like, it's petition mania over here. One says revoke Claressa's boxing promoter license. The other says let's get Claressa Shields a mental health evaluation. Right? This is unbelievable. Support fair pay for Claressa. So that one is a bit older, I believe. So I'll focus on the new ones because I just did the videos on the other 2 and these weren't here. You see, they were started May 28th. So now this is just unheard of stuff that Claressa's profile is so much in the gutter that you got all these petitions and people feel your behavior is hostile and is not making a bunch of sense, and they want you to get help and do not feel you are fit for pro-sanctioned professional boxing. Do you understand? I've been covering boxing over a decade and a half. I don't recall any fighter, male or female, where this has been the case, where everybody is almost unified, or just a lot of people, and there's people who just feel you're a hazard, you're unsafe to work with, you're unprofessional. Like, what? This is unbelievable stuff. Now, due to the length, I'm not reading all of it, but this one is about her being a promoter. We, the undersigned, respectfully demand an immediate review of Claressa Shields' fitness to hold a promoter's license based on the conduct, which is serious boxing public concern, and it reflects poorly and negatively, no professionalism. Investigate, suspend, deny, revoke. They don't want her to be a promoter, right? So this is from the first petition. We do know that one, right? So now there's another one saying she's not fit to box nor be a promoter. Wow. Now, this is the one that I've never seen nothing like this. So this one was not started by the same people, right? It was started by whoever this some woman account is. And this one has a whole write-up, and it says, let's get Claressa Shields a mental health evaluation. Gaining momentum in health and well-being for a brand new petition. And look, people are signing it. Honestly, this isn't funny. Claressa Shields is terrorizing the public, and this needs to stop. As a child, Claressa, by her own admission, she was deemed dangerous by mental health professionals. I'll assume she found a way to channel her trauma in anger into boxing. Went on to accomplish something that no male or female has ever done. So they're giving her props for that, right? And she won 2 Olympic gold medals. That alone is an amazing accomplishment. But somewhere along the lines and on the way, we have a decorated woman terrorizing regular people and celebrities of all complexions. Claressa has admitted to retrieving a knife to attack a boxer who knocked her down. And it was that Artur dude that knocked her down in sparring. She's on record saying she went to her car to get something because she felt he cheated, right?
I will square up with you and whoop your ass. And yes, I ran to my car and I grabbed my knife and I was going to cut Derek Santos.
Thankfully, the boxer was not ebbed. Next was Claressa's weigh-in against Ivana, and then there was attack on her trainer. I've already went over this. Her trainer was a 70-year-old respected trainer.
Boxing enthusiasts hoping to see Flint native Claressa Shields fight tomorrow are out of luck after an altercation involving a member of her team and the trainer of her opponent, where at least one punch was thrown. The fight has been called off. Ivana Habizin's trainer, James Ali Bashir, was injured and taken out on a stretcher. Since she doesn't have another trainer, she withdrew from the fight. There is no date for the fight to be made up, but the rest of tomorrow's card will go on as planned.
So at home, where Claressa is from, the Habazin fight got canceled because the trainer got snuffed, like he got hit and like duffed out with a blindsided punch, right? So as a result, the fight got canceled. So that's what this petition is talking about. So you pulled a knife. Claressa already said that on wax. Then Habazin, her trainer, a 70-year-old man, was injured. Her fight, she canceled. She crying, and you know, it's devastating to see your trainer hurt, right? And he got stretchered out. And that was only 2 incidences. Let's keep going. Her comments to Habazin after the attack are unusual and deplorable. Us as fans didn't need to know that she was behaving this way behind the scenes. It wasn't until recently, a rematch with Franchon Cruz Dezern, where I personally watched Claressa push Franchon, and it started a whole melee. Claressa then looks into the camera and lies to the public about what we all witnessed. She says she got headbutted. And then I believe Franchon Cruz Dezern put out a cease and desist on her. She also twisted up her ankle. Most recently, Claressa and her married boyfriend laughed at another boxer, SHADASIA Green, who was knocked out on a Alicia Baumgardner card, right? The first card with ESPN for Jake Paul and Nikisa MVP. And she was carried out of the fight on a stretcher, while SHADASIA and her loved ones awaited news about her condition. Claressa made tweets, posts, and lives continuing to mock SHADASIA Green.
Oh my God! This SHADASIA just get stopped? Whoa! 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 Oh my God! SHADASIA! You MVP. Keep Claressa Shields' name out your mother mouth. Oil. Y'all suck. Y'all suck. It's levels to this. And I'm on level 100, and y'all fuckers on level 10.
After her behavior at a recent Netflix MVP event, previously mocking SHADASIA, I would imagine that no one in their roster wants to fight her. I'm guessing that Lauren Price doesn't want to be involved with her either. Her actions are not making logical sense. Claressa is accused of putting money on someone's head, the boyfriend's wife's friend. Like, that's speculative, so I'll skip past that. But I have heard that Claressa, and her cousin was the one that said this. Claressa allegedly attempted to pay $5,000 for someone to approach and do something to this comedian who's friends with Remy Ma. Claressa creates burner accounts and threatens the public and their kids. Claressa is called into a YouTube channel pretending to be someone else, only to then admit to being herself by the end of the call. Claressa comes online to brag about kicking innocent children out of a toy drive. Now it looks like Claressa or someone on her team has created a counter petition to combat the first petition from Granny's Corner, the boxing granny. This woman is getting to the point where her behavior is disgusting and unsettling. Now, some people don't know about that last stanza regarding Claressa in the toy drive. Here it is. Play the clip.
It's this girl who had been trolling me for some time now. She used to be a fan, but all of a sudden she started trolling me when I got with the last dude I was with. I don't know if it was because she liked him or what. I have no idea. But
so you see right there, Claressa keeps accusing other people of wanting her man. right? Like, oh, Alicia Baumgardner, you couldn't have Papoose. That's my man, my man. Then she's talking about, I guess, that Tony dude she was with. And she was like, the girl kept trolling me. I don't know if it's because she wanted my man. Listen again.
When I got with the last dude I was with, I don't know if it was because she liked him or what, I have no idea.
When I got with the last dude I was with, I don't know if it was because she liked him or not. I have no idea, right? So Claressa continues to say defamation to MVP, Baumgardner, bloggers, or whatever. She keeps saying people are defaming her, but she makes a statement like that with no real proof. How do you know this lady who was trolling you wanted your man, right? Or the Maserati Bud dude. She literally got on camera and alluded to him being a grapist. She's like, it's giving grape, right? Anybody with a Wi-Fi signal can validate everything I'm saying.
But she had been trolling me online and saying she gonna spit on me and all this other stuff like that. And, just making up posts and all this other stuff, talking about me all the time. And got to the point where I blocked the girl on every page she had because it was like anything happened with me, like she's making posts about it, she's reporting it. So I got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I want to have her off my side. I don't want her to see nothing that's going on with me. So I blocked every page that I know that she had.
So again, a pattern. You don't like what people say, you block them, which is your discretion. Let's keep going.
And so then, I had my Christmas giveaway. And the girl came front of the line with her kids. And the bigger person in me, the godly in me was like, man, it's cool, you know what I'm saying? She here to get some little gifts and whatever, she need help with her kids. But she's online saying I was broke, I'm ugly this, I'm ugly that, I can't dress, she gonna spit on me when she see me, all that stuff, right? And so when I got...
I wasn't present for the conversation, but that might be an embellishment because you're a two-time Olympic gold medalist. I don't know this girl's size, but chances are she's not a two-time Olympic gold medalist and you're a professional fighter. Did she really say she was going to spit on you? Like, does that sound like somebody? Like, I get it, people troll, but that seems kind of extreme that you would tell a pro fighter when you're likely not a pro fighter that when you see him, you're going to do that. And even if someone did say that, do you really believe they would do that? Knowing you have trained combat hands?
That she was there before the Christmas giveaway even started. I went, found her in the line, smiled at her and everything and said, leave. You already know what's going on. She was like, it's the Christmas giveaway. She had her kids with her. And I said, yes, you know what's going on.
Now do you understand why I personally believe that Claressa Shields is a narcissist? Narcissists never feel they did anything wrong. They will seldom take accountability. The fact that you're telling this story, one, for what reason? You're looking like you're getting ready to train, putting your wraps on or whatever. Why do you feel comfortable telling this story about how a woman went to your Christmas toy drive and was waiting in line, and before it actually began, you spotted her, you accosted her, went up to her and pulled her out the line, and you're admitting her little kids were right there expecting stuff, and you had the thought process. She just told you, go rewind this if you don't believe me. Oh, maybe I'll let it go. She's with her kids. And then she tells you what she did. According to her own words. She pulled him out the line and says, you know what time it is. You need to leave.
Smiled at her and everything and said, leave. You already know what's going on. She was like, it's the Christmas giveaway. She had her kids with her. And I said, yes, you know what's going on. Like, I ain't even got to say much. Don't even make a big scene. Just go. And I feel like I smiled the whole way through, and she ended up, leaving her and her kids. And I told the kids, like, listen, I love y'all. I wish I could, do something for y'all, but I'm sorry. Like, if she would have had somebody else bring her kids, they would have got a gift. But I just had to, because baby, play on the internet, but don't think I'm gonna let you play in my face. Never that.
Do you hear this? Do you hear this person? Does this look like or sound like a PR trained professional athlete? You literally said, oh man, I felt low key a little bad for the kids, but I can't do nothing for you. I don't like your mama, right? You could have, like, if it was my toy drive and somebody was on my channel and been trolling me, same scenario, right? Why don't you send the little kids with some toys? You're not going to give because like, it's for the kids. Like, what's a mama going to play with a He-Man toy and Ninja Turtles? So if it's a toy drive and this is in her own city, right? This is in Flint. This is how you're treating the people of your own city, right? You could have been like, hey, the mom was out of pocket. Don't do that next time. I don't really rock with you, but I'm not going to do your kids bad. And hopefully you learn your lesson. Perfectly fine. Because if the girl was harassing you and said she'll spit on you or whatever you're claiming, that is not appropriate behavior either. But you are in the public eye. You are the professional fighter. And this is what they were talking about in the petition. So everything the petition says so far, it clocks and it checks out. Again, think about the psyche. Why are you even telling us this story? Like, first of all, it's one thing that you did it, but two, it's a whole nother thing that you decided to go live and overshare and tell a story where clearly people probably would feel a type of way. Like, hey, that was kind of messed up to do to kids like that. If they're impoverished and they're from your city and like, why would the kids, man, come on. Oh my gosh. Why would the kids need to suffer for their little kids? Their brains are not fully developed. Why would they need to suffer for the actions of the parent? If you had a Christmas spirit, why would you be the Grinch in that given situation and rob the children of their enjoyment because you didn't have an agreement or you were at odds with the mom? You really pulled them out the line. And it goes to show you the character. I told you I was going to expose the character, show you more about this person and who they are. These are not, it can't be. See, Claressa, she tries to play this manipulation game, very manipulative in nature, where everybody else is the problem. Oh, you're picking at me. You're picking on me. And then you're the one actually doing this. Right? So no accountability for said action, but it's my fault or another blogger's fault or a reporter's fault for reporting about what you told us. You could have, why would you boast about a story like this where it doesn't really sound like it has a good outcome, right? Even if it happened, why do you feel like, hey, this is a good story and a good story time to share with my audience? She doesn't care. Her actions, people could say whatever, but she doesn't even try to mask it. Her personal vendetta against the mom for alleged infractions superseded everything else to the point where she couldn't see past that.
So I put the girl out, y'all. Her and the kids, Lord have mercy. And
I put the girl out, her and her kids. Not Boxingego. From Claressa's mouth.
Play in my face. Never that. So I put the girl out, y'all. Her and the kids, Lord have mercy. And I thought about it a little bit. I'm like, dang, I kind of felt bad because what if she really needed help? And then I done found out, y'all, this girl done got evicted from her house right before Thanksgiving. And now she's staying with a friend or whatever because the shelter filled up. And I was like, dang, I kind of wanted to reach out to her and like, hey, did you get the kids any gifts? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And I just like, you know what? That's just karma, right?
Are you kidding me? like, and then when I'm making the videos, transformative in nature, giving my honest opinion and reporting the facts that are out there, mixed with my personal opinions, I'm the bad guy, right? She's telling you. First of all, listen to what she said. After you kicked them out, your own words, you found out they were evicted. Like, you sound very connected to this situation. Like, you already did what you did. People are going to feel their way because you're advertising it, right? How do you know she got evicted? How do you know her life story? And why do you care? When she came up to you with her family and you could have let bygones be bygones and gave them kids some toys from the toy drive, you elected to be petty, and now you're still invested in what she got going on with her family. This is like, I don't even know the word. That's like wicked if you think about it. That's like a wicked spirit to even be checking up on someone. Clearly you didn't have the regard for her family. You didn't have any care in the world because you sent them on their way, your own words, during Christmas. How do you know about what happened to them after? Why would you even care? And then you're just, it reminds me of, I watch a lot of true crime, right? And then somebody will unalive a whole family and then they get busted. And then they're at the police station and they're having to confess to the crime because they did it. And there's DNA evidence that connects them. And then the police are like, oh, the detective's like, oh, tell me more. And they'll be like, man, I just want a cheeseburger. Can I get a cheeseburger? And then I'll tell you what happened and lead you to the bodies. Like, what? And it's like, no emotion, no remorse, no emotion. You are comfortable eating and want a cheeseburger as if you didn't slaughter something or unalive something. That's insane. You know what I mean? Any psychologist will tell you that, right? Where somebody is so like, because a lot of those people are narcissistic, right? So human life or me getting a cheeseburger, no regard, no remorse. That's why you see these true crime shows and then the person who did it, family sobbing in the courtroom and they're on the stand. Sometimes they laugh, right? You took their kid's life or something, and then they're crying on the stand, reading the little statement, and you're laughing, or you're just sitting there like unfazed, like you're bored. I don't even understand why she told this story. Bad look.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And I just like, you know what? That's just karma, right? That's just karma because some people have for the shelter filled up. And I was like, dang, I kind of wanted to reach out to her.
I kind of wanted to reach out. Not like, hey, I got $8 million, which is what you say, and a $3 million signing bonus. Maybe we got off to the wrong start. I will reach out. I kind of wanted to. She follows up with this. Oh, that's just her karma.
And like, hey, did you get the kids any gifts? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And I just like, you know what? That's just karma, right? That's just karma because some people have no reason to come for me. And I keep telling folks, I am covered by the man upstairs. I am covered by Jesus Christ. It is not good for you to come messing with me, man. All I do is bust my butt for my family. I really have.
And then fast forward to the future, the same family you're at odds with. Fast forward to the future, they say your granny's in hospice and you took a vacation to Aruba. Same family, there's evidently a $7,000 tax lien, and then they're saying the water's getting cut off and you just like rinse your hands clean of that property or whatever the case is. Then on top of it, your cousin says that you try to work with the Flint mayor to get the property taken off a list. Man.
It is not good for you to come messing with me, man. All I.
Narcissistic. It is not good for you to come messing with me because I'm covered by God, the man upstairs. So like you got to her, this street justice, this family being evicted or homeless and not having toys on Christmas. And she said the shelter got full. She said the shelter was filled up. Her words. So this family out here in your own city, in your own region, this family out here doing bad, and you talking to your audience about it without a care in the world, seemingly.
Is bust my butt for my family. I really have a close relationship with God. And I don't pray on the downfall of my enemies, but God knows. He say let him.
Why would there even be a but? I don't pray for the downfall of my enemies. That could have just been a period. You said, I don't pray for the downfall of my enemies, but, like, come on.
Get him. And the way that God can get.
So God said, get him? Wow. So God's vindictive. Your God is vindictive and, like, contrite and wants people to feel the wrath because allegedly someone said something. Come on, bro. Listen to what she's saying. The proof is in the pudding. I'm not making nothing up.
But God knows. He say let him get him. And the way that God can get him is way better than me. It's this girl.
Not a good story time at all. So back to it. This petition is cooking. Everything that they said, I can account for, and I remember, and I've showed you, right? So yeah, it's looking bad for Claressa Shields. The petition closes off by saying, take direction from New York Commission. They ordered a mental health evaluation on Ryan Garcia. She has already physically hurt people outside of the ring, like Franchon Cruz-Dezurn, Alicia Baumgardner, etc. We don't know what she could be planning next. The two people willing to fight her in Vegas, blah, blah, blah. We don't need to talk about next fight if she needs help. You need fans of boxers to have a boxing match. Claressa is running out of both. A blind woman can see she is mentally unwell, and as a dark-skinned, pay attention, as a dark-skinned black woman, I don't want her continuing to tarnish my demographics image. Please order this course of correction before someone else gets hurt. Thank you. And I can't speak for y'all. I can only speak for me. When you got, I don't even know, I lost count, 4 or 5 petitions out, most of them outside of the one counter petition, which I truly believe is a burner petition to try to counteract the other ones. When you got this type of conversation going on, I have zero respect for the Salida promotions, Win Records, and Papoose and Claressa Shields, that whole movement, when you won't even address it. You think you don't have to speak to these things. People are coming out saying, hey, your fighter's out of line. They did this. They shouldn't be putting their hands on people. They need a mental health. And as of me recording this video, we have not so much as heard or seen any corrective action, any course correction. We haven't heard of any updates. We have not received one press release from Win Records. How can you guys support a company like that where they see the angry mob of fans have had enough and are experiencing Claressa fatigue, right? And they just ignore it. Like, hey, let's just give it the silent treatment. Hopefully it'll blow away. And you want me to support. You want me to support that. Remember what I've been saying. Bully behavior. And it's funny because you have people occasionally, a couple, GWOAT stands or whatever, they'll come to my page like, oh, come on, Ego, how are you going to do this? Why are you making a video about this? Because it needs to be talked about. The crowd is fed up of this behavior, unprofessional behavior outside of sanctioned fights with Claressa Shields. So I'm the Bruce Wayne of boxing. We got to talk about it, right? I'm not here to bully, lie, or bend and twist the truth. Everything that I've discussed is either my strong opinion, but then it's based on the facts. Now, here's the other thing, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this. There's several, and remember what I said, bully behavior, several comments that when I'm making Claressa videos, only on the Claressa videos, no other videos, there's these accounts where they're only defending Claressa, spamming up my comment section, and even threatening me, right? Or saying disparaging things about me. Like, for example, this one. You a grown-ass man and you're obsessed with a woman you would never get with, you weirdo. To me, it sounds like the same energy and voice of Claressa Shields. I'm obsessed with a woman that I could never get with. But who said I wanted to get with her? You know what I mean? So that's just a weird comment, wouldn't you say? Like, who said I wanted to be with a person that is evil, wicked, mean-spirited, conniving, cantankerous. So why would a regular fan put that? To me, that's a burner account, right? In the same exact account, let's read some of the other stuff they said. Yo, I gotta block this dude. 5 days ago, they said, I gotta block this dude. I remember kids like this in school. As soon as you go upside their head, they go telling. Keep being a sucker, picking on women. Once again, doesn't Claressa talk like this? Right? She told Baumgardner before she accosted her and touched her, she was like, I hate the way you talk. I hate the way you talk. I hate the way you run your mouth. Right? Now this person is saying that. And then Claressa, it's just commentary. They talking about, I remember kids like this in school, you got to go upside their head. Is that a threat? Like, where is that? You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about? And then it says, you're picking on women. Who's playing victim? Oh, you keep picking at me. MVP's picking at me. Layla Ali, she was jealous of me and picking at me. Oh, Baumgardner is super jealous. She been jealous of me, right? Look, you tell me if this look like a burner account. The same person, mind you. Same account. All about Claressa. Yo, I got to block this dude. We went over that. Again, the comment says, yo, I got to block this dude. But you watch every video and comment on every Claressa Shields video. So how are you blocking the dude? Sounds like a burner to me, right? The other comment, the rise of nerds bullying women is getting out of hand. This man needs something productive to do with his life. I found something productive to do. It's called content creation, which you want to be. This comment, another bit ad nerd picking on a female. Shut your up. She looks the F good. You a sheep just going along with it. So tell me if that sounds like Claressa under a burner in your opinion or not. Come on, bro. So don't ask, oh, why is Ego making another video? Now, that's only one burner account. That's only one. There's multiple. Some leaving threats. Some saying, oh, your channel sucks. I'm blocking you. Your viewership is down. You're gay. You're sleeping with Alicia Baumgardner. The same girl, mind you, that says everyone else is playing victim. Everyone's out to get me, right? Everyone's defaming me. Don't ask me why I'm making the video when you, listen, put it this way. Until that clears up and there's no burner type behavior, which we can easily find out who's doing it if YouTube subpoenas the records, right? Then don't ever question my judgment on what I'm going to report. I'm going to continue reporting to the best of my ability. It's never nothing personal. It's always business. Some things we got to talk about, whether you feel they're ugly or not. I don't get on here lying about no one. I don't get on here bullying nobody. I'm just giving pure commentary on situations. And for me, I believe Claressa Shields is not being a good representation overall to the sport of boxing. How many other, I'm one person, I'm one channel. How many other content creators that make videos talking about Claressa and giving their constructive criticism on it are complaining about this? Like, man, there's a burner account and they always in my live. There's burner accounts saying this and that. There's burners account threatening me and stuff like that. Sometimes people just have a wicked spirit and they don't want the truth. But we're not here for that. We're not going to be dissuaded. We're not going to stop the fight. Listen, all I can say is support the real, my channel. Cash App, Super Chat, leave a like, share the video, leave a comment. There's paid ways, there's free ways. Sign up with my Patreon so we'll continue the conversation. But I don't accept bully behavior where you don't like the message, even though true, you don't like the criticism, even though you could use it, and then you're trying to push people around. It's 2026. That is not going to work, right? That is not going to work. You can say whatever you want. I can say whatever you want. But the reason why it keeps coming back to Claressa, look at the behavior. All these burner accounts, You didn't like what Alicia Baumgardner had to say, so you try to change the narrative. You don't like what a blogger has to say. Look at what you're doing. And then you don't even have the courage as a two-time Olympian to show up in the Instagrammer or YouTuber's comment section under your real profile. That's what's crazy about it, right? You would think if somebody big and bad and putting out stuff like that, they would put a name on it and they want you to know, hey, it's really me, not like John Doe and Marie Simmons and all these other weird concocted names. So again, don't ever question me. Don't ever question me. Everything I do is pure. Claressa's character, she's always saying that people are trying to assassinate her character. We don't have to. You're doing a great job of that yourself. You're a great boxer. You're an accomplished boxer. That's where most people originally knew you from. But look at the timeline. Since you got with Papoose, since you dissed Layla Ali, I don't know what exactly happened first, but since around that moment, your profile has been taking a nosedive. And you want to blame everybody else without looking in the mirror. You want to bully people off their square, off their position. And then it's crazy to think that a person, I don't know what they put in that Flint water, bro. You might have dosed up and did a double dose or something. But how can you be suspected of being on all these burners and you're supposed to be on vacation with my man? If y'all are so in love, you're about to have his kid, who would be out of the country in a room looking at all these blogs and posts and commenting? And mind you, we can't confirm the burner activity because that's the point of it being a burner. But there's plenty of activity on her own page where she is arguing with fans, where she is responding to fans. So if you're doing some of it on your own page, why would you not be doing it to bloggers who are giving their opinion of you? If you have thin skin, you have thin skin. So whether it's on your page or someone else's, you just cloak it and you mask it a little bit different when it's on somebody else's page because you don't want people to know. And here's another reason why I know these are burner accounts. In my heart, I know that they're burner accounts. The whole comment section, nobody's agreeing with them. When you look at these suspected burner comments, there's never more than 2 likes on it, right? So those burner comments, those are the odd ones out. And everybody, not just me, everybody talking about Claressa Shields, if you have a suspected burner account, it'll have the least amount of likes. But then the ones that are keeping it real about Claressa, her behavior, her attitude, and she needs help and she shouldn't box, she should get off social media, 60, 70, 125 likes, right? So we cannot let evil win. I don't care how hard it tries. We will not let evil win on my channel. You know what I mean? Especially when people are doing it for the wrong reasons. All you have to do is change your behavior. All you have to do is apologize to Alicia Baumgardner. That would have been the easiest thing to do, and you would have been out the mess. But you like to stay in the mess. You can take the girl out of Flint, but you can't take the Flint out of the girl. Notice everybody around Claressa Shields, from family members to former proteges and friends, everybody's ghetto, everybody's messy, everybody's like loud, everybody cussing. Nobody can string together a sentence without mother this and mother that and this and you like, you know what I mean? So yeah, at the end of the day, all I can say is if you really rock with me, we can't let evil win. Support down in the comment section, period. We unpacked.